Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 14 of our Get Your Goals annual challenge. Today we're talking about goal framework number 5. It's just a random list of goal frameworks that I found online and a summary of them, so we can look at all the different goal frameworks and then determine and decide what works best for you. Now today's is one of the simplest ones that there is. It's called the one-word goal strategy or goal setting, and it is from the book, let me grab my magnifying glass, by somebody Britain, John Gordon and Jimmy Page, called One Word That Will Change Your Life. And this reminds me of the people on the internet and on social media who pick a word of the year. And there's a lot of social media influencers that do this, pick a word of the year. Why? Because it's super duper simple. People can get behind it. You can focus your energy on one thing. It's honestly why I pick one overarching topic for my annual challenge. And it's usually something that I want more of in my life. I did more love, happy, stretch my comfort zone, things like that. And this year, my word would, of course, be goals. Why? Because we're focusing on goals, everything goals for 2023 to set processes and systems and routines and habits in place to ensure that going forward this year and as well as going forward, we will get our goals. We'll get what we want no matter what, because we're going to install in our subconscious some of these tools and strategies that work for you and work for me. I'm going to pick the ones that work for me. You're going to use and apply the ones that work for you. And that will mean going forward for the rest of your life, it will be simple and easier, faster, more efficient, and more effective for you to get what you want. Isn't that what we all want? I think so. I want to get what I want. I suspect you want to get what you want too. So this strategy has been around for quite a while, and at least since social media has been a thing. Why? Because it's easy to share. It's easy for people to get excited about. So how do we go about picking our one word? Well, first and foremost, we have to reflect. We have to ask ourselves some questions to decide what's important to us this year. What do we want to set that we know we can work on and improve in our life if we do it for a year, right? And some people just do it here and there willy-nilly to focus on their goal. Other people like me set it as an annual challenge, and we do one thing every day to move toward that thing and create that thing in our life. So we can have a different word every year, and we can continue to grow and improve and become the best possible version of ourselves because we're focusing on something and doing something every day. But any way you look at it, it adds focus and concentrated effort toward achieving something. And whenever we give attention to something, it's much more likely to show up in our life. So first we're going to reflect. We're going to ask ourselves some questions. What do you want? Number one, if you don't know what you want, it's pretty hard to set a goal or an objective, even a one-word one. Number two, what will you do to make it happen? What are you willing to do? How much effort are you willing to put forth to make your one-word goal a reality? And again, it'll depend on what your goal is, and I'll talk about a couple things there. But you get to decide how much of a impact it's going to have on you. Maybe every morning you wake up and you say an affirmation about your one word, and then maybe at lunchtime or when you go to bed, you have an affirmation that you say about that, or whatever works for you. What are your needs? What do you need to achieve in order to get your vision, to achieve this word improvement in this area or aspect of your life? And then what do you need to change to make it happen? Those are good questions to reflect on and ask yourself, well, am I committed to change that thing? If you decide that your one word is sober because you've had a problem with alcohol or some other chemical abuse or chemical type life-altering substance, is sober going to be enough to motivate you to create the life that you want? Maybe not. Maybe not. So then after we reflect and we ask ourselves a bunch of questions, we kind of get clear on what we want, why we want it, what we're willing to do. Then we're going to brainstorm possible words close to the end result of what we want. So if sober is what we want and that drives us and motivates us, that would be a great one word goal for the year. And then finally, we're going to choose a word. So let's talk about a couple of examples. Number one, over the whole course of this, we want to avoid analysis paralysis, right? We don't want to get so bogged down in analyzing and trying to figure out what our one word is that we don't pick a word and go for it. And I'm going to sneeze here in a sec. And we also, one of the benefits of this type of a goal strategy is it's super duper simple, right? Any one of us can go through these steps, think about what we want, brainstorm different possible words that have to do with the result that we want, and then choose one and pick a word. But usually it requires explanation. Like if I say goals is my word for the year, I need to explain to people why it's that, what it means to me, etc. And so some people don't want to do that. And you don't ever have to explain to anybody, right? You just pick your word and you focus on it. A lot of times we don't even tell anybody what we're working on, unless of course we're on social media and we want to get attention. Then we tell everyone. So for example, mine's easy because I have an annual challenge, and I've actually been having an annual challenge for 6 years. So I pick what's the topic of my annual challenge, and then that really becomes my one word. Although I don't think I've specifically made this my one word goal strategy. I use a lot of the other strategies that we're going to talk about. We've talked about some. We're going to continue to talk about more over about the next week or so. So what's our action item today? Do this. Try this on for size. Maybe you already did it. Maybe you already picked your word for this year. And if you did, just share it in the comments below. But what would your one word be, or your one word goal be, if you're picking one word this year? Now, I won't be surprised if a lot of them are goals if you're listening to me and doing the annual challenge with me. But it could be something totally different. It might be love, happiness, joy. Make sure it's something that motivates and drives you, and it's something that you want and you like to reflect on and think about. I say every day, but that's up to you. All right, any questions, hit me up. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow.